seconds before I went on. Right now, I heard that Sarah Beckstrom of West Virginia, one of the guardsmen that we're talking about, highly respected, young, magnificent person, started service in June of 2023, outstanding in every way. She's just passed away. She's no longer with us. She's looking down at us right now. Her young man is fighting for his life. He's in very bad shape. He's fighting for his life.
Breaking news this morning, President Trump confirming the death of 20-year-old West Virginia National Guard member Sarah Beckstrom last night while addressing service members. She and 24-year-old Guardsman Andrew Wolf were ambushed and shot just blocks from the White House on Wednesday. The alleged shooter, Afghan national Rahmanullah R-N.Y, came to the United States after Biden's disastrous Afghanistan withdrawal and did work with the CIA, according to Director John Ratcliffe. The two National Guards members were both sworn in less than 24 hours before the attack. President Trump now announcing his administration will permanently pause migration from all third world countries and remove anyone who is, quote, not a net asset to the United States or is incapable of loving our country. Joining me now, New York Congressman Nick Langworthy. Congressman, great to have you this morning. Thank you so much for being here. Want to get to your reaction on this news out of Washington and the steps that President Trump is taking to make our country safer.
Well, Jackie, my heart breaks for Sarah's family. We're praying for Andrew that he pulls through and makes a full recovery. I mean, this is a epic tragedy. An attack on one member of our service is an attack on our whole nation. And we need to have these soldiers and their memories in our thoughts, in our prayers, especially at this moment. But this is just emblematic of the immigration policies of Joe Biden, which were an epic disaster. There was a lack of vetting, the botched Afghanistan withdrawal. And as the Biden administration tried to paper their way out of that, they botched the asylum and reentry of Afghans coming into this country. I mean, 76,000 people were brought here. Now we know that this murderer was tied to military organizations and did work with the CIA there, but there was no vetting. I mean, this isn't something where you could have just fingerprinted people and taken their headshot. You needed to do real investigations before you brought these people stateside. Mm-hmm. And these families have paid a price. Our nation has paid a price and continues to pay the price for these disastrous Biden policies. And I have full faith that President Trump and his administration will do their full due diligence to get all of the facts, have the complete investigation. I somehow doubt that this man acted alone, mm-hmm. But I will await the results of the investigation. And I know Congress will be very active with this going forward. But the president has taken immediate steps, and that's very necessary to freeze all incoming immigration, based on these policies. And what has happened since January 20th is reset the paradigm for the United States of America, that we're not going to be a revolving door and allowing anyone in here not knowing what their intentions are. And clearly this man had murder in his heart.
Yeah. I want to switch gears for a moment, Congressman, talk about President Trump and the Affordable Care Act subsidies. He's now saying that extending them may be necessary as the enrollment deadline looms for millions of Americans that will see their premiums skyrocket. Watch this.
Are you planning to extend those subsidies?
I'd rather not. Somebody said I want to extend them for 2 years. I don't want to extend them for 2 years. I'd rather not extend them at all.
Will you do it?
And maybe some kind of an extension may be necessary to get something else done, because the Unaffordable Care Act has been a disaster. It's a disaster.
So he doesn't really support extending them for the sake of extending them, but he realizes that it might be part of a larger view of trying to accomplish things in Washington. Congressman, can you see this extension happening?
No, I agree with President Trump, but I salute him for his realistic leadership here. I mean, I think we come out of this shutdown knowing that the politics is not 50% plus one anymore. It's 60 votes. If we're going to keep the government open, if we are going to have a real conversation on reforming Obamacare, which is wildly broken, and has failed at every promise that Barack Obama and leaders then in Congress, when it was passed, that was before my time, that they made. They said that you'd be able to keep the care that you had, that premiums would go down. They have exploded, and we have given record profits to insurance companies. I don't really want to see these subsidies go forward because I think it's just shoveling more money at a broken problem. But President Trump is very realistically leading on this situation. We need to have bipartisan cooperation to move forward on government operations and healthcare. Our margins are ridiculously close in both the Senate and the House, especially the House. And we're going to need cooperation across the aisle. So in order to get to that moment, I think that the president has laid out and will lay out a plan very soon as to what that is. I mean, members that I serve with that want to have an ideological solution here are just wildly unrealistic. We're going to probably have to extend this for some period of time and create new safeguards and off-ramps and eliminate abuses in these extensions, because they certainly have not led to lower premiums.
Right, and that's important. The extension that the president is talking about would have parameters to make sure some of those things you discussed were incorporated. Congressman, I just have a quick minute left with you, but I want to ask about your landmark Energy Choice Act. It's officially passed out of the House Energy Subcommittee. It's a major victory for New Yorkers and a critical step towards blocking Governor Kathy Hochul's statewide natural gas ban for homes and businesses. The bill prohibits state and local governments from banning certain sources of energy while safeguarding Americans' freedom to choose the most affordable and reliable energy sources. Congressman, the bill is now heading to the full committee for consideration. Are you confident that it will pass?
We have incredible support. We just reached our 135th co-sponsor of this bill. I mean, to have virtually a third of Congress in the House supporting this bill. We have a companion bill in the U.S. Senate. This is a very necessary piece of legislation. Energy is interstate commerce. We need to stop these radical blue states from interrupting our energy ecosystem in this country. It's a matter of life and death for my constituents that in cold and snow events, when the power gets knocked out, they could freeze to death in their homes. And Kathy Hochul doesn't understand this. She just wanted to get to the farthest, greenest, leftist point that she could in her ideology as she was looking to avoid a primary. Yeah. This is not all politics. This is about taking care of people and not putting them in a dangerous position. So we're going to pass it out of the full committee next week when we go back to Washington, and then I won't rest until we get this across the president's desk. Okay.
Congressman Nick Langworthy, thank you so much for being here this morning. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Jackie.